Yes, good morning, class.
Morning to Malik.
Yes,
Good morning, Mwalimu.
I hope you are doing well. I would like to know who is not around, and I'm going to call their names. I'll start by calling Victor Okulu,
Present.
Karen Oko,
Present, sir.
Brenda Kenya.
Present.
Okay, thank you. So we can continue. And before you continue, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Mathias Kibet, and I'm going to take you through cartography, and we call apply principles of cartography. So before we proceed on that, I want us to remind ourselves on the previous session. I think we learned something about map communication, and I would like to request one of you to remind us what do we mean by map communication. You can raise your hand, and I'll give you a go ahead. Yes, who can tell us, or you can unmute your mic. Yes, Winnet, I'm seeing you.
A map communication is where the key features on the map show us what is entailed in the map, and with that, the key features communicate with us, and we communicate. The map communicates with us.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other version defining the term map communication? Yes, who else can give us the meaning of map communication?
Map communication,
Yes.
I think, is just like displaying information by use of map.
Okay, thank you. So when you talk about map communication, it's actually the use of map to pass out a certain information. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let's have a look at our today's session, and I'm going to share a small slide here. Okay, can you see anything on your screen shared?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so today we want to cover something on this cartography, and we call it apply principles of cartography. And we're going to get on the learning outcomes. And here, by the end of this session, a trainee should be able to, one, define the term map compilation and explain factors to be considered in map compilation. Then after that, we are going to look on the sources of mapping. And actually, by the end of this session, you should be able to state and explain those sources of mapping data. Are you together?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So let's have a look at some few definitions here before we unpack on that. Before we look on map compilation. First of all, we need to know what is cartography and what is the map. Then after knowing that one, that is when we can talk about map compilation. After knowing the term cartography and map, in that it's going to bring you to bring closer the idea on map compilation is. So from your screen, are you in a position to see what is there?
Yes.
It's very dim.
Okay.
It's not clear enough.
Maybe it's a bit of network error, but whoever can see it clearly can read for us the definition of cartography, please. Yes, Karen.
Yes, cartography is the art and science of creating maps, and it involves design, products, and study of maps, integrating geographical information with visual representation to convey spatial relationships and features effectively.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So when you talk about cartography, it's actually the art of science of creating maps. The main thing here is about creating a map. Are you together? Okay,
Yes.
Brenda,
Yes.
Brenda, can you give us the meaning of a map, kindly?
I can't read well. It is dim.
Hmm. Okay, who can see it clearly? I'm seeing higher Caseland. Can you read for us, please?
Yes, a map is a symbolic representation of a geographic area showing physical features, political boundaries, roads, and other amenities. Maps can vary in scale, purpose, and detail, serving as a tool for navigating, analysis of education.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So when you talk about a map, the key thing here is about a representation of a geographical area. So when you talk about a representation, it's trying to represent a certain geographical area, showing the following: the physical features, the political boundaries, the roads, and other elements. So now let's have a look at the core thing now: map compilation. From the statement here, you can you try defining the term this map compilation from your end, if you can see it clearly, please? Yes, who can see it from that end, the term map compilation? You lead us.
Map compilation is the process of gathering, organizing, and integrating various data sources.
Okay, go on.
Integrating various data sources to create a coherent and accurate map.
Okay, so thank you. When you talk about map compilation, it's actually the process of gathering, organizing, and integrating various data sources to create a coherent and accurate map. Let's say, for example, you want to come up with a map of a certain area. So the first thing you need to do, you gather the information. You gather all the required information that is need to be included in that map. And then after doing that one, you do what you call organizing, and you integrate those sources to come up with a map. Let's say, for example, you want to come up with a map of a population of a certain area. So the first thing you need to do, you need to go to the ground, you get the information about the people, the number of people, their settlement, for example, how are they organized. Then after that, you come and organize and finally come up with a map. I think when you talk about map compilation now, it's a bit, it's clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. So let's have a look at
Yes.
okay, so let's have a look at factors to consider when doing the map compilation. And from your screen, actually, you have how many factors there? You have 6 factors. And who can lead us with the first factor? Yes, I'm seeing. Who is that? Who is that? Sharon, your hand is up.
The first factor, scale,
Yes.
determines the appropriate scale for the intended use of the map.
Okay, so that is actually the first factor to be considered is the scale. We need to determine the appropriate scale for the intended use of the map. The second one, who is that? Who is that? Winnet, I'm seeing your hand is up. And then Karen, and then Kaislyn.
The second one is purpose. We should know the purpose of the map.
Okay, thank you. And the third one?
It's one.
The third one, please. Who is that? Okay, you can unmute your mic and respond, please. Kaislyn and Karen, I'm seeing your hand is up, and Victor. So, we start by Victor. Victor, are you there?
Okay, data quality.
Okay.
Data quality.
Okay, go on.
Assess the accuracy and reliability of data sources.
Thank you so much. We have the fourth one.
Audience.
Yes, okay. Audience, what does it talk about?
Audience considers the target audience's acknowledged level of needs.
Yes, okay. So when you talk about the audience, it is the map user. Consider the target of audience knowledge and level of needs. And then we have the second, the fifth one is actually the symbology. It uses the symbols and colors that enhance readability and understanding. You need to choose the best symbol that can be understood in terms of maybe the color and okay, we talk about the symbol and the color to enhance readability and
Hey,
understanding.
sir, we can't hear you from this side.
Who is that? Who can't hear? Do you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so
Not really. The microphone is not okay.
Okay, so let's continue now. Okay, so the last one is talking about the legal and ethical issues. And this one ensures the compliance with a copyright of the data usage regulations. So those are actually the factors to be considered when doing a map compilation. Then we have the phases of map compilation. Do you see something on your screen talking about the phases of map compilation?
Yes, we are seeing them.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So when you talk about the phases of map compilation, it's actually talking about the process of doing the map compilation. And I'm going to go through it one by one. So we start from the first one is planning. When you talk about the planning, here you are defining the objectives, the scope, and the audience. You need to define the objectives, the scope, and the audience. Then you go to the second one is data collection, where you gather the data from various sources, as I had explained it earlier on when we were talking about definition of map compilation. Then we go to the that one is the data processing, where you organize and format the data for integration. Then map design, you create the layout, selecting the colors, the symbols, and the labels. Then the fifth one, you review and do what you call the revision. Here, you edit for the accuracy and clarity. Then the last one, you do what you call publication. And here, you finalize and distribute the map. Are we together?
Yes.
So when you get a question asking of the same, you need to be in a position to remember the phases of map compilation. So the last one, we have the sources of data collection. And when you talk about the sources of data collection, we have the two sources. We have the primary and the secondary data. So when you talk about the primary one, this is where the information is obtained from the first-hand information. Like for example, when you go to the survey field observation, you get the information first-hand. Then when you talk about the secondary data sources, these are actually the data obtained from the second source. Like for example, let's say we have a report of something. So when you read that report, you get some information about it. So I think we are at the end. And do we have anyone with a question, please? You can even ask the same question in our chat box. I'll be able to see it. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask. Okay, I'm seeing no one has a question, and I have an assignment here I'd like to share with you. And the first assignment is, if you can note it somewhere, you can do it. But I'm going to share the same slide at the end of the session through your class representative. So one of the assignment is explain 5 phases of map compilation. The second one is you need to state and explain 3 types of map compilation. And the marks awarded is 15. And the assignment to be submitted before the next session. I hope I'm clear on that.
Yes.
Okay, so do we have anyone with a question? I'd like to check on the chat box if we have one. So Sharon Gango, you are saying yes, Malimo. So I hope this was the first. Anyone with a question? Or you can say
Excuse me, sir.
something? Or yes, Richard, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
Okay, welcome.
I've been carrying up my hand, but you've never been seeing it, sir.
I'm sorry. Okay, you can say something.
Yes, I want to say something, sir. Just that I have come a little bit late.
Okay.
Because I didn't have my network was not good. That's why I've been trying, but I wanted just to ask for apology early enough before we meet in the class, because maybe you may have wrath on me.
It's okay. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
Okay. So if you have any question, any comment, you can put on the chat box. And as we remind ourselves what we've just covered. Okay, thank you so much, Winnet. You've said you've learned about a lot on map compilation. Thank you so much. Who else? I want to see some, and then we end our session. Yes, Victor Ukulu, you say something about maps. Yes, Kangokwa, thank you. Phases of map compilation. Good. Mupike makofi. A clap, please. Sources of map compilation, Brenda. Thank you. Yes. Let's appreciate ourselves. Thank you so much. So I think we've ended our session, and thank you so much for your time. Yes, higher Keslin map, we have understood it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mwalimu. Bye.
Okay, thank you.